This is a mental exercise.
It really is.
Having a podcast.
It's therapy.
Yeah. Talking to people, all sorts of different people.
Well, I just want to learn. I'm very inquisitive.
Yeah.
So I just want to learn about people and how I try to understand how people think. Can I use that? Okay, sweet. Learn how people think. That's all.
Yeah.
And try to understand people, understand myself more.
You're kind of like a psychologist.
You think so?
Yeah.
Without getting paid. It's okay. I'm not doing it for the money though. Not at all. I just do it because it's fun.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy it. I mean, I do want to make a career out of it one day, but it's just like right now I'm just having fun with it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
But I can't wait to put this episode out though. Like once we get it recorded, I can't wait to get it all corrected and just release it.
Yeah, I hope I could have some helpful things to say.
I think
I'm kind of nervous.
Why are you nervous? You good. All right, thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk with Patrick podcast, one of the realest podcasts in the world, the land of galaxy, and the whole entire universe. It's your guy, Pete Thriller. I am back. Okay, I have another guest. She is a marriage counselor, relationship therapist, correct?
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
This is Dr. Tasha Sider.
Hi.
How's everything going?
Everything's going really good.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here. I'm really excited.
Absolutely. I appreciate you as well. So how's everything? How's life?
How's life? Life is great. Yeah.
That's good.
It's really good.
So you say you're from Texas though, right?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
from Texas. Yep. Originally, awesome. I moved from there when I was 16, so I really just did my childhood there, did my time, and
damn.
Yeah.
So you never came back to Texas, huh? Did you go visit?
Oh gosh, it's been a while.
Damn.
It's probably been 6 years, something like that.
Okay.
But once in a while, I'll go back.
You still have family out there?
No family.
Really?
No family, yeah. No family out there.
No
actually.
cousins, nothing.
No.
Amazing.
Yeah, my parents were they were interesting. They went sort of rogue when they were right after college. They moved to Austin, Texas. They didn't know anybody else, so they moved pretty far away from their family. They were kind of, I think, sort of hippies. They painted a van. My dad painted a van like it was the world, and he told my mom, like, we're going to go travel the world. And
amazing.
They went down to Austin. Their car broke down, and they decided they were going to stay, and they raised kids there.
Amazing. That's a pretty interesting story.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. Okay, so you moved to Texas, then you say you moved to Arizona, right?
Ohio, actually. Yeah.
How did I get confused? My bad. Okay, then you end up going to school, going to college.
Yep.
Then you got your master's and everything. So what got you into this field? Like, what made you want to pursue this as a career?
Yeah, I think that it was a combination of a lot of different things. First of all, I'm an identical twin.
Okay.
So I think that was the first thing that really piqued my interest in psychology.
Right.
And people and development and what makes us who we are. So I think I was always just kind of curious about that growing up all through my childhood. And then when I was 14, my grandpa gave me this book, and it was all about twins who were reared apart because there was this adoption agency in Minnesota that really operated under the philosophy that raising twins together was bad for their mental health.
Really?
So, yeah.
Amazing.
So they separated all these twins at birth. They thought for their own good. And there were all of these adults that found out that they had a twin when they were older, and they found that there were these really uncanny similarities between them, that they hadn't been raised even knowing about each other, much less in the same house or anything like that, but they had all these uncanny similarities based on their genes. And I read that book and I was like, this is the coolest shit ever. I want to understand people. So that's how I knew I wanted to go into psychology. And I think in terms of relationships, gosh, there were so many things that I was seeing around me that were all just leading to this idea that our relationships are our mental health. The quality of our relationships really is the quality of our lives.
Right.
And so I wanted to help people with that, and I kind of got a little obsessed with studying how to help people have better relationships, and that's really how I got here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So this is your own practice that you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So was it anything, I guess your like personal experience that helped with you like going to this field, like relationships in general from you?
Yeah, I think personal experiences definitely. Yeah. I think watching the people in my family, how they interacted, that was a big part of it. Yeah, I hate to sell out my brother, but
Damn, okay.
I saw him go through a really tough time when he was going through a really tough time in a relationship, and oh gosh, there was just so much that happened with that. But he was engaged and he was not being treated well, and I saw how it really impacted his mental health in a really big way. And that was honestly one of the things that also piqued my interest. I was like, ooh, I can see how this is affecting him, and yeah, I just wanted to help people have better relationships.
Yeah. So do you think that social media is contributing to the I guess to the toxicity of relationships?
Ooh, yes.
Because I think so, big time.
Yeah.
At least from my experience, like, good Lord.
Oh my gosh, tell me about what your thoughts are, and I wanna hear about those.
You know, like, don't get me wrong, it always been bullshit, right? It always been games being played, but it's like now, I think it's on overload, to be honest, because people looking for the next best thing. Mm-hmm. You know, they watch all these relationship podcasts. They don't have licensed professionals at all, but it's people that share their opinions. Yeah. And people just live their life and base it on these people's philosophy. You know what I mean? And it really hinders a lot of people, I think.
I think that makes a lot of sense, especially the fact that you can cherry pick some things to affirm sort of what you already think or want to believe, and you can cherry pick these ideas and maybe misinterpret them, and take them into that relationship context and say, here's the reason I'm right, you know? Yeah. Like doing things like that. I also think the fact that we just have a phone that's always here, it's a constant distraction.
I know. It's horrible.
Could just always be taking us away from giving our partners the attention that is going to be able to nurture a relationship. So that's a huge one. I think about it with children too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have the connection they have with their parents, the way they need to have with their parents at all, because you know they've been raised by devices. Right. Which I get it, because you know cost of living is so expensive, so it's like people got to work multiple jobs, and it's really hard. It's super hard. Like, I mean, grocery shopping, I'm spending at least $350 a month on myself. Yeah. Easily.
Oh my God.
Not even that much items. It's just a chicken, some broccoli, rice. You know what I mean? Like little bit of things, and it add up. It accumulates.
It really does.
So it makes it very difficult, I think, when it comes to kids and families.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, because everybody has to work so hard and be out of the home for so long. Not to mention that we used to raise kids in tribes and have so much social support. Yeah. And now it's one or two people who are raising the children. Yeah. And so it's a larger systemic issue, because when you're exhausted, it's like, yeah, no wonder putting the kid in front of the TV is like the easiest thing when you're so tired. And that's not that person's fault. It's a much larger systemic issue that people need so much more support than they're getting. Do
you think that will get better one day, or maybe not?
Ooh.
Because I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be worse, I think. Not trying to be pessimistic. Yeah. But technology is getting more advanced. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the economy's not getting any better at all.
I mean, all the AI stuff, how it's replacing.
Lord have mercy, I know.
Do I think it's going to get better? I don't see a lot of reasons that there would be more support. My sister lives in Oregon, and she was talking about how there's one government initiative where they're going to make preschool free for everybody by, I think it was 2030. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, I hope more things happen like that, because that's an example of support. Daycare is so very expensive. Yeah. So many people just can't afford that. And you have young children in the home all the time. That's a lot. And they're going to be on devices a lot because there's other shit you got to do. You got to do the dishes. You got to clean the house. It's hard to do that when you have to entertain a toddler.
Absolutely.
Well. Yeah.
And there's so many distractions out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. I was out a while back. I saw like a couple together and they was on their phone the whole time. Yeah. And my thing, I'm like, look, if we're going to do all that, we should stay at home. Mm-hmm. Seriously. Because I'm not going to spend all this money on all this food and you're not even talking to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like I felt like it just made me feel kind of weird because I'm not from that era. Like I'm 80s, whatever, from that time. So it's just different compared to today.
Yes,
very different.
That is so different. You know what I think about the phones is, I think it makes it so much easier for a couple to fall into a cycle of avoiding talking about their issues, avoiding talking about anything they need to talk about to break through a barrier to get more emotional intimacy. It's an excuse to never go there, never work through the things that they need to. And I think it creates a lot of distance, or it contributes to a lot of distance between people. Yeah.
Absolutely. Even when it comes to like I said, conflicts, people would rather just avoid it. They're just in a text message and just keep moving, you know? And me, I'm one of those people, like, I want to talk about it. I run into the problem. I want to like address it and then figure out a solution. If we can't solve it, then okay, you go your way, I go my way. Yeah. But you know, not a lot of people like that, which is a detriment, I think.
How do you see people respond to it in ways that tell you they don't like it?
What you mean as far as me running to the problem?
Yeah.
Some people just get real standoffish and just get really weird about it. They're not used to that.
Yeah.
They're just used to people texting. I'm like, no, just call me or let's meet up and talk in person.
Right.
About it, you know what I mean? But it's I mean, right now I'm just chilling to myself. But when I was trying to date, it was definitely it was interesting for sure. Absolutely. I mean, I definitely have my fun, you know what I mean? I would do that, but then like sometimes like it just, some people get really weird. Like some people either get real possessive without talking to me about it. They'll start claiming, "Oh, yo, we date." I'm like, no, it's not what we talked about. You need to talk to me about it first, and then see if I feel the same way. Or a woman show interest, like she'll come up to me, whatever, and speak, and then we get each other phone numbers and everything. And all of a sudden, her interest just dissipates for some reason. I'm just like, what the world? What did I do?
Doesn't mean you did anything. Dating is so hard.
But then again, it's like it happens. But then like they get with somebody they think is better, and then it end up being a horrible situation. Then they want to contact me. I'm like, no, like you made a decision, so stay over there. That's what you wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I say, you tell you want a guy that's emotionally intelligent, a guy who's transparent. I'm transparent as fuck. I am. Maybe a little too transparent at times, but I think they're scared of some people as well because they know they're not on their level. That's what I think. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I'm not a doctor at all.
I mean, I could see that. I think that it could be scary for some people because they know that they're going to have to face some truths about themselves.
Right.
That they don't want to because that shit's scary.
It is. But I'm not scared. I was like, if I want to better myself as a person, right? I want to be a better man, just a better person in society. And if I'm doing something wrong, I want somebody to be able to tell me I'm doing something wrong. Yeah. Or if I'm acting a certain way, let me know. Yeah. So I can fix it. Or work on it, whatever. Even if I don't agree, I say, cool, whatever. At least you said something. But some people, they say that's what they want, but then when you do all that, it pushes them away.
Wow, you're bringing up something I think that's really important here is this idea that being in a relationship where you're in a relationship with an equal, you're going to have to face these things about yourself. It's like a mirror.
Absolutely.
They show you these things about yourself that they think that it would be good for you to change. And hearing it from someone that you really respect means a lot more than maybe hearing it from someone that you're not as close with. Their opinion doesn't matter as much. And so it's kind of scary and dangerous to get so close to someone that means a lot to you, that you really admire. Mm-hmm. And especially someone who's really transparent and going to be really honest. It's a very tricky thing.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I went to therapy myself. When my mom died, I was about to lose my mind. I said, let me get some help. Yeah. And I'm very open about it. I'm like, it is what it is. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just the fact I had to get some help.
Yes.
Because if I can help my body, if I can go to the gym and pump iron, all this stuff like that, I got to take care of my mental well-being as well. It's very important. Seriously. And as men, we don't really talk about that enough. You know what I mean? Because society made it that way.
Yeah.
You know, and it been times where like some women say, oh, I want a man to, you know, to be honest and blah, 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 and, you know, share his emotions and blah, blah, blah. But then when you do it, sometimes it makes them repulsed. You know what I mean? Like makes them feel a little weird. They don't want to talk to you or they get scared. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, you told me to, you know, tell you how I feel. And I told you how I felt. And now you backing away now.
That is so interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So women do want that. They want someone who's emotionally intelligent and emotionally attuned. But you're saying also when you do show those qualities, sometimes you get this backlash.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not even just me. Like some guys I talk to, like at the gym and just in general, they go through the same thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I said, this is crazy. Like it's kind of epidemic or what? I don't know.
It's unfair, really. It's unfair for everybody involved.
It is. It's weird.
Yeah,
it is so weird to
weird
me. You know, and I don't know. I think too. I think sometimes people think just because you're being respectful, they look at it as being soft. And it's like, no, that's not. I think it's just being respectful. That's all.
Well, also, what's wrong with being soft? Being soft is fucking good.
It is.
It's a good thing.
It is. I mean, I'm not the most emotional person at all, but I'm very empathetic. I show a lot of compassion for sure, just because I went through a lot of my life, so I'm able to, you know, get to that point. I just don't cry, not much at all, barely.
Yeah.
Maybe once a year about my mom, but that's about it. But yeah, I try to, you know, be empathetic as much as I can be, and if people need me, I'm there for them as much as I can be.
Yeah.
For sure. But sometimes I feel like it scares people away just because I'm like that. At the same, so I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic.
That's interesting.
Yeah. This is real shit.
Don't stop. Don't stop doing it, because the right person is gonna really like that about you.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm just like, I just shake my head a lot of times. I think things going great for a second, and all of a sudden just get weird. I say amazing, or like one woman talking about I don't want to mess up our friendship or whatever. I'm like, you say you want your man to be your best friend, right? I said, what the I don't get it.
Yeah.
Especially if we already had messed around before. It's like, how worse going to be at this point? We already did that situation. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And it's not just me. Like I said, it's conversations I had with other people. So I'm bringing all this stuff up from what people told me as well, including my own shit.
Yes. I think with dating this day and age, so many things have to align, because I think that the dating apps give this false idea that you can just pick and choose your ideal partner. Like there's going to be some kind of perfect person out there that has no flaws, and that's kind of ideas that we get from TV and shit. It's like, it's not real. When you pick a person, you pick a whole person. You don't pick some kind of like dream that you had or ideal. That's not how people are.
No.
Some people kind of project that, like they want to appear like an ideal, and so they might seem like that at first. And then you get to know them, and you're like, you're fucked up too. Like
exactly.
Everybody's a little bit fucked up.
Absolutely.
And like when I say that, I mean by that people are people and they're human, and we call it being fucked up, but it's really just being a human.
Yeah, human nature.
Human nature, yeah.
And that's why I'm very open and honest in the beginning. Like, look, I got my own traumas. I worked through it. I went to therapy. I work out. I need my alone time. So not all the time, but I do need my alone time, my solitude at times, just because, you know, I'm around people all the time.
Yeah.
Like my full-time job, I transport elderly and disabled people to the hospitals. I take them to UC Health and Walmart, different places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm always around people at the gym as well. People come talk to me all the time at the gym about everything, everything. And sometimes I need my alone time to where I can decompress for a second, you know, woosah for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm good after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. It's such a, just a crazy dynamic, I think, right now.
Yeah.
And with the whole AI thing, I think that's making it worse. What the sex dolls, by the way, that's going to make it worse, I think.
Oh, the sex dolls? Wow.
Yeah, I think it's going to make it worse big time. Oh, my God.
The AI, because they have them now.
Yes.
I saw it on a TV show. They have those AI sex dolls that you can program to just respond exactly like you want.
That is
right?
crazy to me.
That is crazy.
I mean, I'm not knocking people who are into that, but it's nothing like a human connection, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way things are going with society, I think that's what a lot of people head into. And I think it's some kind of population control, to be honest. I think so. That's how I feel. I could be wrong.
It makes me wonder
The motive.
It makes me wonder just what we were talking about, the dating apps, the feeling like you can just pick someone who fits your specific needs perfectly, and
right.
with a sex doll you can program them and essentially have this total control over how they respond to you. Yeah, it does make me worry that it's going to make that issue worse, that people are going to lose the muscle to really accept people as people,
right.
and be able to compromise and work with things.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Unless it's affordable. Shit, can you imagine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's very fucked up. And I'm just trying to navigate through this shit myself. I'm just trying to, I guess, understand people a lot more. People come to me all the time talking about this stuff. And then plus on social media, you see all these different podcasts. They talk about it. They say all this stuff. Well, a real man do this, a real woman do that. I'm like, look, how about let's have a conversation with each other and understand each other?
Yeah.
Instead of just blaming everybody else, let's talk about it without being offended and just try to find a resolution.
Yeah.
But
what do you think keeps people from being able to talk about things without getting defensive and offended?
I think people not really emotionally to the point where they can let me see. I had it in my head, but it kind of slipped. Sorry, hold on. My bad. That's a real good question, though. That's a real good question. I guess it's one of those things. It's like where you said earlier how people don't want the mirror be facing them, like where they see themselves.
Yeah.
They have a hard time admitting their faults with
Yeah.
things. I think that's the biggest thing. It feels good to blame everybody else instead of looking at yourself. Like I can admit, it's some things I have done, like fucked up. But for the most part, like at least in recent years, I try to be a better person. I try to be as transparent as much as I can be. Because that's what people say they want. But then when I'm honest, I shoot myself in the foot. it seemed to be the case. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this will be fixed. I don't know. I mean,
Tell me just a little bit more about when I'm honest, I shoot myself in the foot. I'm curious.
When I'm honest?
Yeah, when you're honest, yeah.
I guess what I mean, like when I'm brutally honest about how I feel, even like if a woman asks me like, "Hey, how does my hair look?" I'm like, "They look good," or "Nah, you gotta cut them split ends a little bad." I'm that guy. Like I'm just honest. It is sometimes like someone would get offended and don't want to talk to me no more, or they want to argue. I'm like, so yeah, that's what it is for me.
I see. Okay, yeah. That honesty. When it pertains to, I'll tell you one thing: is women are really insecure about their appearance.
Absolutely, I know. But my thing is like I'm trying to help you, right? Like if I care about you, right, I want you to look your best when you're out in public.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you look horrible, you don't get mad at me if I don't say anything. And if I say something, you get mad. So it's like I can't win.
Yeah, like you feel like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Absolutely,
I get that. Like you're being asked a question, and it feels in that moment like, I want to answer this honestly because I want to help you. Like I feel like you're asking me this question because you want some help. You want an honest answer about if you should cut your hair or not.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
I think this is one thing that happens in conversations is sometimes a question can be, the meaning of the question can be so different than what it sounds like on the surface. Like it could sound like, I want you to tell me if I have split ends or not, but really maybe what the question is I feel insecure. I want some reassurance.
I should just say that then.
You know what I mean? It would be nice if we were all so direct, wouldn't it? Because that's a part of the equation, right? The
Yes.
part of the equation is that we need to ask for things directly.
Right.
So that there's not that misunderstanding and we don't get a response to the question that we weren't asking.
Right. Right. Exactly.
There's a part of it is like people in general, we all need to work on being more direct about what we need.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Because then we don't get misunderstood.
Yeah, it's so much confusion with that.
It is
big time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And it's like another thing too. It's like some women will say how they want guys being respectful or whatever, but then they end up going with the guys who dog them out big time. And I think that's a self-love issue.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with me, but it made me feel like that though.
Right. Yeah. It's the familiarity.
Yeah.
We go towards what is familiar because what's familiar feels safe.
Which
even
is
if
crazy.
Yeah. It sucks.
I value my peace a lot, for real.
Yeah.
I fucking do. Yes, Lord. Okay. I just don't. I'm trying to understand it. I do try to give grace to people, but at the same time, it's like, man, it's frustrating. It can be.
Yeah.
Seriously though, especially when you see like potential with somebody, and then all of a sudden it just dissipates. I'm like, what the fuck? Like really? And then you go back with this other bum, which is crazy to me. I said, don't you want somebody with a goal? They want to better themselves, not even just financially, but just mentally and spiritually as well, and physically.
Yes. Yeah.
That's me personally. I do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a lot of distract, a lot of bullshit goes on for sure.
Definitely. Just so much disappointment that you have to go through in the dating game. It's getting your hopes up and then getting disappointed and then getting your hopes up again.
Absolutely.
And it gets to the point where you start to wonder if it's really okay to get your hopes up, and it starts to get really discouraging.
Oh,
it sounds like you're taking a break right now. You're just like, I'm going to focus on me.
Yeah, I pretty much. I mean, I have, like I said, I have been out there a little bit, just doing stuff. You know what I mean? I have done all that. It is what it is. I mean, I'll just be honest. But if a real good woman come along and we really mesh well and she really serious, I will, take in consideration.
Yeah.
But it's like right now, it's like whenever a woman show some kind of interest, I kind of like pull back a little bit now because I'm like, you might, pull the rug from under my foot again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's very exhausting. It can be emotionally exhausting.
It is. I mean, it sounds like you're in that exact state right now where when somebody shows some interest in you, you block yourself from really feeling the excitement about it and going towards it because you've been through that whole cycle before, and you don't want to get your hopes up and then get disappointed and end up going through that torture just over and over again. So It sounds like you're sort of pulling away to protect yourself right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, indeed. But like I said, I'm open to it, to things, but it's like at the same time I'm just so focused on myself right now as well. I'm just trying to just keep working on myself, just keep building myself as well, and just be the best version of myself.
Yeah.
As much as I can be.
That makes sense.
So I can be the best version for somebody else if that ever happens.
Yeah. It sounds like you really, what you need in somebody is you need safety within them. You feel that you might be able to open your heart if someone really shows you that they are a safe person to fall for.
Absolutely.
Because you've experienced a lot of situations where it hasn't been safe.
Right.
And you started protecting yourself, and it sounds like somebody might be able to take down some of those walls if they really show you that they're safe and stable and they're going to be there and they're not just going to like jump ship.
Right. The
second that you are transparent with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's confusing. I mean, I got to be honest. I'm sorry. Even like when I had sex, right, with different women, right?
Yeah.
They'll text me, oh my God, it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden they disappear. I'm like, if I'm that amazing, why you disappear? You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. But I'm not the only guy that go through that shit because plenty of guys tell me that. And sometimes I think someone maybe get scared, I guess. Maybe they get really scared. They probably, I guess, worried about they're going to be too invested or something. I don't know. It's just what I think. Not to say I'm correct or not.
Yeah. When people get scared, they protect themselves.
Right.
A lot of times that looks like flight.
Right.
It can be fight, flight, or freeze. Protecting can look like, I'm going to run away.
Right.
That's a really common way.
So why is that? Is it because they are afraid they may like the person a little too much, or what is it?
It could be so many things. That could absolutely be one because, like we were talking about before, when there is that potential with somebody, there's more potential to really get hurt. right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When somebody is someone that you really admire,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot more potential to get hurt by that person because you really want their approval.
That makes
Right.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I just wish people would communicate about that.
Yeah.
Instead of just running away, just say something.
I know.
You know,
Wouldn't that be good?
I think it'll make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Seriously. It will calm down all this man versus woman bullshit I see on the internet.
Yeah.
Which I don't really watch, but I have watched a couple just to see what people are talking about. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know. It is sick, okay? It's very sick out there.
Yeah.
Big time.
It really is.
And also, like, some people get caught up with these social media influencers as well, and it's I forgot his name, but he's a relationship like therapist, well, not therapist, but like podcaster. Oh, he say all the amazing things, but I told someone, I said, look, this dude right here's full of shit. I said, why I know? Because I'm a guy, and we know other guys full of shit. And to make a long story short, the news came out about him. He was married, which I didn't know he was married either, but he was married. He had, I think he cheated on his wife with 100 women or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I said, he was telling himself the whole time, but y'all didn't pay attention because y'all just so caught up in the stuff he was saying instead of really, looking at, hearing the message, but I don't know, he's telling what you want to hear pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of that.
I know. It's weird. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
It is very crazy. And like me and some other guys, we didn't know he was married, but we knew he was full of shit. Because anytime we see a lot of a man just get on the internet and start bashing a group of men, it's the reason why he do that shit.
What kind of men was he bashing? Or what kind of group?
He bashing just men in general. If a man don't love you, he won't do this. Or if he loves you, he'll do that, and blah blah blah. And man, it's all this stuff, like just grouping all men together as if
really talking in absolutes too, very
yes,
black and white.
Absolutely. And some women didn't see that. They were just so enamored about what he was saying. It was like, oh no, he just talking about you just hating. No, I'm not. And then they say no. The news came out. I said, wow, amazing. Yeah.
That is crazy.
And it happens a lot. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like people like to hear what they want to hear pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I just don't go for that shit. I used to be like that when I was young as well. But as I got older, I really try to pay attention to what they're saying and how they're saying it, how I'm feeling as well when they're saying it. But it is such a, I don't know. I just think that people need to really communicate a lot more.
Yeah.
Instead of just watching all these different social media gurus, like actually talk to these people you want to talk to. Like just whatever problem you have, converse about it.
It's living more in the gray than the black and white. Right. Because when we listen to all this shit that comes from just straight from the mind, if your man loves you, he'll do this. If he doesn't, he'll do that. I think that we have this feeling of certainty, like, okay, there it is. This guru told me he doesn't love me. I'm just gonna leave, when it's a lot more gray. Like, people do things to protect themselves in a relationship, even when they do really love their partners. Even when they do really love their partners, they might pull away, or they might fight and things like that. So there's so much more gray, and I think that humans in general want a sense of certainty. Mm-hmm. And listening to a podcaster who talks in black and white like that, there can be this almost sense of safety in that, because it gives us a sense of certainty. Right. But living in the gray is really where the reality is, even if it's uncomfortable.
Right. And also, I want to say this too. It's not like I'm talking about women, because I love women. I do. Like, most of my friends are women. Nice. Real talk. Yeah. I can get on a level. Like, it's not a predatory thing at all. It's just like, I really value women. I think women are incredible. Like, the women's anatomy, the how empathetic they can be as well, the nurturing how they can be. I like that. I think that's great. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because as men, we not like that. Well, not all of us. Like, some guys probably are, but I'm not like that. So I like to have a little break to be around women, just because I really value them. I think they're incredible, but it just I'm just speaking from a heterosexual standpoint. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just from my experience and other guys' experience that went through similar things that I went through. Absolutely.
Why do you think it is that men are sometimes, and I'm gonna say sometimes because again it's
Go
gray.
ahead. Yeah,
like because I think I've met so many men who are extremely empathetic, but you're also here telling me that you feel like a lot of men aren't as empathetic. Why do you think that is?
Because we just built like, I mean, not built like that, but we was raised that way, you know.
Yeah.
Especially but at a certain age, like I guess my age and like people older, it was a different time. Like now, you know, people are more sensitive nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's more PC these
Right.
days, especially
Yeah.
even with movies. Like the movies today is not like the movies back in the 80s and 90s and the 70s. Like certain things they said back then, they can't say today or they get canceled. You know.
Yeah.
But I think it has a lot to do with just the way how we was raised, for sure. Because I was kind of like raised with a little tough love, you know, from my father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nowadays it's just a little different.
Absolutely. I think that, yeah, little boys, they do get raised with a lot more tough love.
Yeah.
And maybe especially when we were kids.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as far as like crying, like no, I didn't do that much at all. You know, when somebody died, I would sometimes, but besides, I had to really be hurt, like really, really hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's just how it was for me. But as I got older, especially in this time period, I try to unlearn a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you know, I'm a human being. I'm not a machine.
Nope.
You know, we all have our own things to be dealing with as well. And I felt suicidal when my mom died. You know, during that time was hard. You know, I had a lot going on, a lot of I'm not going to talk. I had a lot of stuff going on that year. Then my father died that year as well. He died like 8 months after she passed. So it was like a lot.
Year?
Yeah. So it was a lot going on, you know, during that time period for me. So it was like after that, I did therapy. I was very transparent about how I felt and what I was going through. So now it's like I'm just trying to like unlearn things, just be a better person. You know what I mean? Like try to not more emotional, but just I guess more empathetic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like try to be more empathetic with people as
Yeah.
well. You know, give people grace.
Absolutely. Because you never know what they're going through.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that situation definitely taught me that.
I like the part of one of your podcast episodes where you talked about grieving your brother. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't even grieving him yet. You were in so much shock, and you were at work, and this lady was bitching at you about this cookie,
Mm-hmm.
and you were like, "I'm sorry, your cookie isn't baked right. You know, my brother died last night," and how she was so apologetic. And I was just thinking, like, if people heard that shit, that probably changed her life. Honestly,
Probably did.
It probably did, because she probably realized, holy shit, like I'm so absorbed in my own bullshit about this crap.
Mm-hmm.
I think it probably was a huge light bulb moment for her to develop a lot more empathy.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen her again since then, but yeah, at that time, like I was just pissed off. For real, I'm like, really?
You should have been pissed off.
During this time period, like it was, and that situation was so weird too. I never saw that coming at the time.
Yeah.
And it was back in 2008 when this happened, so I would have never saw that. It wasn't his personality. But at the same time, when most people do stuff like that, that's not part of their character either. From according to other people, when you hear from their families,
It's true.
you just never know. I mean, he had his own stuff he was dealing with, which I didn't know until after he died. He was dealing with a woman he was with at the time. So yeah, it was just a lot going on. And then drinking on top of that, which makes you not have the best decision making skills.
It's true.
You know, because I think if he was sober, I don't think he would have done that. But the fact he was drinking, that's what happened.
It's like a split second decision.
Yeah, and we had different moms, but his mom was there when it happened, and she killed herself. About like a couple of years after that, she had OD'd on some pills.
Wow.
She was brain dead in the hospital. Yeah. So that was just a crazy time period. And then you had the economy crashing at the time, like recession, and it was just a lot. I had dropped out of school. I was going to art college. I dropped out at the time. So and I lost my job, lost my apartment. It was just so much going on at that time for
and
me.
Your cousin too?
Yeah, my cousin, she got killed. Yeah, I got a few cousins got killed, but the one that got shot and burned up in her car, yeah, that was bad. Her ex-boyfriend did that to her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she was I think she's trying to get some money back from him that she had. Well, she loaned him some money, and he ended up, shooting her, and he put her in the trunk of the car and set the car on fire. But he drove it by her mother's house, like around the block, or whatever, and he set it on fire. So, yeah, yo, and their relationship was very, very toxic. It was a lot going back and forth, a lot of physical fights, you know, a lot of just, you know, a lot of disrespect. And she didn't need that. She was just too smart for that. But it goes to show you, though. I mean, she probably had some kind of low self-esteem herself, and why she would put up with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So after all that, that's why I value my peace. Like, you know, even though I'm talking about this stuff right now, it's like I really value my peace. If a woman can't add to my peace, I don't want to deal with that at all. I don't need the nagging. I don't need the bickering. I don't need none of that. I just need support. If
you do need support.
If that's what, you know, if that comes, that'd be great.
Yes,
and vice versa.
Support,
absolutely.
Right? And you should feel supported in your peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I came from a lot of trauma. You know what I mean? But I definitely done the work over time, and my energy shows like how people connect with me all the time from all walks of life, different backgrounds. Yeah. When I go to the gym, you can see that people come to me all the time. If you was in my gym, you'll definitely see what I'm talking about for real. If I'm in Old Town, when I'm back home visiting, same thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I also come from a place I don't judge nobody either. How can I judge? I can't. I'm not a saint. I'm not perfect myself. I'm just doing my work. I'm just trying to give back to society. You know what I mean? Just try to help out people, even if it's giving a word of encouragement, or even having conversations like this where people can learn from, and you know, and try to improve themselves, be better. Yeah. I did my part. You did your part.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I
can really see the impact that you're having. It's really amazing. You have been through so much loss.
Yeah.
And you're really, it sounds like that changed your life in a really profound way, and that you really decided to not only just spread compassion and non-judgment, but also create something out of it to try to reach people and send that message to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. And that's the point of it. So I couldn't even get it out for some reason. That's the point. That's why I made this podcast, because I want to just you know, connect with everybody.
Yeah. All
ages, different backgrounds, whatever your profession is. Let's sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Because we all human. We all have our own traumas. We all have our own insecurities. Because I'm insecure as fuck at times. I am. I may not seem like it.
Is.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But some people act like they don't have it. I'm like, shoot, I have it. I project myself in a certain way that you don't think I do, but I definitely have my insecurities. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm always, you know, dealing with it. I got body dysmorphia like crazy. I'm always looking at myself in the mirror like, oh, I'm getting pudgy right here. I need to fix this, need to fix that. I think I'm going to deal with it for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Especially after having that injury I had. Good Lord, that was definitely a lot.
That is a lot.
But
what will give you this feeling like your body's not working for you.
Absolutely. And what helps me too about being grateful and everything. Sorry. I think about people. I told you about the podcast I had with this guy named Jabri, who's in prison.
Yeah.
I said, you know, my worst day is his best day. That's how I look at it. I said, because the problems that we have, he is dying to have those problems. He's dying to be free.
Yeah. Just
to be able to go outside, deal with these little small petty problems that people complain about. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I try to think about him whenever I do feel down. I say, damn, at least I'm not in that situation. Yeah. At least I'm not being told what to do. I can shower when I want. I can eat what I want. I can go hang out with whoever I want to hang out with. I get in my car and drive. I can go to work. You know what I mean? But it's like with him, he don't have that option at all.
Wow. So many things that we take for granted. Just our own freedom.
Absolutely.
To choose what we want to do with ourselves every day.
Absolutely. And every single one of us, we all had a potential to be in that same predicament.
Yes.
Everybody do.
Everybody.
So I try to take it. I try to take everything one day at a time. But it's still, people still, well, relationship stuff still complicated though. Still definitely it grind my gears at times though. All this confusion.
It is complicated. And even that's one thing I want to say about that even if many people have it worse, it's still okay to feel sad about things. It's still okay to feel disappointed about things, and trying to approach ourselves with some of that non-judgment, even if we have that automatic part of our brain that's like, what the fuck are you sad about?
Right. So let me ask you, have you had anything when it comes to guys? You ever had any situations where you felt confused with certain shit?
Where I felt confused?
Yes. Like where you stand with this person.
Like confused about if I should stay or go?
Yeah, or even just like, did this person really like me or not? Or they get with you, but then they're like, oh, we should just be friends or whatever. You ever been in a situation like that?
Yeah.
Really?
I have. Yeah.
I can't see. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think everybody who's been in the dating pool has had stuff like that.
That's so crazy though.
Yeah. It sucks.
It does. I had women do that before. I'm like, you knew me before all this, so what changed?
Yeah.
I said, obviously, it was something about me that made you want to talk to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I know. I think that what I would tell myself is everyone has their own shit, but maybe part of that was me trying not to feel bad about myself. Like
right.
having a protective part of me, not wanting to take it personally. It's hard to know when should you take it personally, when should you not, and probably most of the time it's somewhere in the middle. Like it's about this person's shit, and it's also about my shit.
Yeah, for sure. I just wish people communicate more, though.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I know we said this earlier, but that's the biggest thing for me is communication.
Yeah,
I had one woman I was dealing with as well. I told her in the beginning, I said, "Look, communication is huge for me. If we cannot talk, it won't work."
Yeah,
I said, "I don't care how attractive you are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how good you are with sex." And she was great. I'm not gonna lie, but her communication was horrible. It was terrible. We dated for 3 weeks. Ugh. And I was just done. I didn't want to break with her, but I'm like, no. I said, you are lying about everything at this point, because we supposed to had went golfing or some shit like that. I came over there. She wasn't even there. I'm like, you knew I was coming. I told you I was coming over at this specific time, and you weren't even here. You know what I mean? So it was just too much going on. I was just back and forth, and I was just done at this point. And it sucked because she was really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like you just don't communicate.
I think with dating, it's like we're never gonna get everything all that ideal, but I think we've just got to boil down what are the top 5 most important things to me. And I hear from you, it's communication. Be a good communicator.
Yes.
That's number one.
It is.
Being able, because when you have that, you can work through a lot of the other bullshit that everyone has to deal with. No one's ever going to be in a perfect relationship that doesn't require working through shit.
Right.
But when you have that, it can help you get through that stuff.
Right.
And come out the other end, hopefully even closer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I stressed it, because even when it comes to business, communication is huge with business as well.
Yeah.
If you want to get this multi-million-dollar contract, you got to communicate with people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just disappear or lie and expect to get a contract and then get mad when the contract fall through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with relationships. It's like if you want to make it work, if you really are interested, communicate. Mm-hmm. And if you're talking to somebody else, let me know. I will fall back.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm like, it is what it is. It's part of the game. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you don't say anything, especially when some women have me around their kids, you know what I mean? It's like, okay. I asked one lady, I said, how would you feel if a woman was treating your son that way? I said, well, how would you take that? Would you want your son to date a woman like you? And of course, no answer. I say, amazing. And this is real shit.
I think that question's a really good one. Even when you're picking a partner, is this somebody that I would want if I had a son or a daughter? Is this someone that I'd want them to have as a role model?
Right.
I think that's a good way to just sort of cut through the bullshit and be like, is this a good person? Is this somebody that I want to be around and be influenced by?
Yes. That's huge.
Yeah.
We can't keep talking about how horrible men and women are if we're not doing our part to try to make it better as well when it comes to these kids that's being raised. You know what I mean? So,
a really good way of putting it.
So that's why I ask those questions.
Yeah.
I do. I'm brutally honest. I can't help it. I got to ask questions. Even if it irritates them, look, how would you feel? Blah, blah, blah. Put yourself in my shoes. If I was doing you like that, would you like that? Or if somebody doing your daughter like that, your son like that, how would you feel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people never think about that. They never put themselves in their shoes. People are very selfish.
Yeah. A
lot of times. Or even some women talking about how they want people, I'm not talking about just women, but that's what I dealt with, okay? But someone would tell me, they want a man to communicate, whatever, and I reach out, text, No response. I'm like, amazing. You said it's what you wanted. So I'm just confused.
It's confusing.
It is.
How do you think you learned how to communicate? How do you think, what helped you get to a place where you could be a good communicator?
My mother, big time. She was a big communicator. She always emphasized communication, big time. I mean, because she worked in television once upon a time. Yeah, she was in New York City back in the 70s. She worked for a soap opera. And so that was, a huge thing for her as well. And also, my teachers, taking literature. I did drama in school as well for 1 year. Well, one semester. Well, yeah, one semester. I needed some credits to graduate. Also played in the band once upon a time as well.
Wow.
So it's like all those different things shape who I am.
Yeah.
All the different experiences. And that's why I said communication is a huge thing for me. I have to have that. I don't care how attractive you are. I don't care how good you do whatever.
Yeah.
If you cannot talk to me, you cannot be honest with me about anything, I can't be with you. I just can't do that. It's just like if you and I was dating and I need to talk to you about something, you just keep avoiding me. It won't work after a while.
No.
I just shut down. I was like, cool, I guess we done.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
You end up a few years down the road and you're like, now we don't even have good sex because there's that like resentment building up and things like that. And so when you don't have good communication, it can just erode the things that maybe that even were good in the beginning. Right.
You end up hating the person after a while.
Yeah.
Yep, I've been there before. Oh, and that's, from my experience, that's why I'm learning too as well. Just from my experience, I try to, some people I have been involved with, they'll talk about how horrible their exes are, but I'm like, I said, what did you do? Like, what did you learn from it?
Yeah.
I tell people, I said, look, I've definitely been toxic myself. That's why I come from this place. I'm like, I be able to talk about it because I've been there, and I definitely worked on a lot of different things for sure. I try to at least. I try to be very transparent about how I feel, what I done, how I learned from it, and I just want to improve. That's it. But I notice that sometimes people, all they do is like, well, he was a narcissist, and that's such a popular word these days. For real, I'm like, Jesus, do you even know what it means? But some people use it, and I think I'm not gonna blame women for this, but I do blame some of them. Sometimes women have they standards way too high. There's some guys will intentionally mold themselves to be this perfect man. They really not, but they mold themselves to be that way to get a chance with this woman. And then once they get what they want from her, they move on. Then she get mad to me. Oh, he's a narcissist. I'm like, well, he possibly is a challenge, I think, and he was able to get through.
He's pretending to be somebody that he's not.
He's not, yeah. And I can't do that. I'd rather just be honest, put myself on the table. Like, this is where I work.
Yeah.
I go to the gym. Like, things like that. I'm just brutally honest like that. I think it's just better to just put things out there like that.
I think people appreciate that.
You would think so. Friends do, but relationship, no.
You feel like they want you to be someone else?
Sometimes, because, like I said, some women I know, they have this crazy expectation they want. They want a guy with all this money, certain kind of height, super big muscles, and I'm just like, look, I said that doesn't mean that's a good person. So if the guy have all that, what if you can't talk to him about anything? What if you can't even laugh or watch a movie with this guy? Then what?
Yeah. You
just there for the physical? That's gonna last for so long?
Not gonna last long at
No,
all.
not at all. Like, if he beat you up, that's cool because he got muscles and stuff. That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, cool.
Yeah.
Let me know. I will move on. You know what I'm saying?
I think with physical attraction, it's important that be there.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
The physical attraction be there, but when it really boils down to it, what keeps people together is respect.
Yeah.
It's really these qualities like, communication. And I think one good test of it is this somebody that you can see taking care of you when you're old and sick? Because we're all going to get there one day. And I think most of us would really like to have someone to lean on when we're there. And that has nothing to do with all these qualities that you're talking about.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. some women talk to me about certain things as well, about certain guys, and I'm like, okay. I said, out of everything you talked about, you never mentioned how he make you feel. You never mentioned, is he a good person? Like, it's all about monetary things and tangible items. That's all I heard. Because I'm listening. When people talk to me, I'm listening. They might not think I'm saying, no, I'm listening to everything in detail. I'm trying to see like what is so great about this person. You know what I mean? And then like once they tell me, like, okay, well, what else? Like, do you have any other kind of connection with this person besides what he looked like or what he has? And I ask guys this too, like, do you have any other connection besides her having a nice ass or whatever? You know what I mean? Because like, I like that stuff too. Don't get me wrong, I do, but because I have eyes, I get it. But I like conversation. I like having actual meaningful conversations. Right. I want to be able to learn something. I want to be able to learn something from me as well. You know what I mean? And just better understand a lot more. But too many people are so I'll go say materialistic, but what's the other word? Superficial, yes. Yeah. It's a lot of that going on, and it's being promoted all the time.
It's
big time.
It's a certain kind of being promoted. Oh yeah, it's a certain kind of values and values that are really promoted by a lot of things we watch. Yeah. Everything that's being sold to us, all the ads. The sad thing about it is that it doesn't lead to happiness. None of it does. I think really in terms of relationships, it makes us happy to know that we have support and that we're loved and that we matter to somebody. Like being with somebody who looks a certain way or makes so much money doesn't have an impact. But we're being fed that all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, social media, movies, all that shit. It's just ridiculous to me. Yeah, it is. If you ask me. And it can be very frustrating at times. And some of the young dudes talk to me about this stuff. They dealing with shit too. Like the 18-year-olds, they dealing with this shit. I really feel bad for them.
Oh, my gosh. Me too. Yeah. Because
compared to when I was 18, you still had some bullshit, but it wasn't like how it is now. Mm-hmm. It's way more distractions now.
Oh, way more. You know what I mean? And you can't even avoid it anymore.
No, you cannot. No. It's like people want all these. They want this perfect specimen. They want you to be way up here while they down here. Mm-hmm. And I said, how they supposed to work? I said, what do I benefit in return if I have all this stuff? If I'm supposed to have everything together, no issues, no trauma, nothing. I'm supposed to have all this money, this great career, all these different things you want me to have. But what are you bringing to the table? Seriously.
I mean, the idea of the perfect specimen, that seems like such a problem that we're looking at people like that.
Yes. It's horrible.
It's not what people are. We're people and we're messy. And
absolutely.
That's really how we connect. It's really hard to connect perfectly with a Barbie doll. Yeah. Or whatever the equivalent is of a man. It's really hard to connect with somebody that when you don't see their vulnerability, I would go so far as to say maybe it's impossible. Yeah. To connect with somebody who doesn't have vulnerabilities or flaws. Luckily, that person doesn't exist. But if they did, it'd be very hard to form a relationship with them because there's none of that sharing that brings people closer. Right. I wanted to ask you something.
Go ahead.
Something that you said earlier. You're talking about a good person. Yes. I was wondering what do you think is a good person? Because that's something I think about sometimes. And
I think a good person is having integrity. You know what I mean? And also just let me see what else. I did say integrity, which is very huge, I think. I just think also being empathetic. I think that's the quality of being a good person. Yeah. Because having money and saying hello, that don't mean you're a good person. You might be doing some malicious shit. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, just having those kind of quality, I think, will make a good person. I think that's a good question though. I should do my homework before you ask me.
No, it's a great answer. Yeah, having integrity and empathy. Yeah, caring about other people.
Absolutely. Yeah, indeed. You know, also being trustworthy. I think that's a huge one too. Yeah, because I have to be able to trust you, big time. Especially if I tell you secrets that's very vulnerable to me. I'm like, okay, I trust you to tell you this. Even like people I fell out with, they told me a lot of secrets I would never repeat. because when they told me that, they trusted me enough to tell me that.
Yeah.
So I honor that. Even if we don't speak anymore, I honor that. Even when it comes to relationships, I honor that. I would never repeat it. Now, if they tell my stuff, I'm like, cool, it's fair game. I'll say something then. But as long as you say that, I won't say anything either.
Yeah.
And it's just how I roll.
That's huge. I mean, not only is that trustworthiness, but absolutely integrity too.
Yeah. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in airing people out like that. I just don't. Especially if you was very vulnerable with me at that time period, and obviously we had a good rapport at the time for you to even tell me that. So I got to honor that.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about my job is being trusted with so many things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's such an honor. I'm like, holy shit, these people just, they give me so much about their lives and trust me with it. And when you get that, it's such a gift. Like you can't just throw it away.
No.
Right?
So let me ask you this. So when you talk to all these people, do you do therapy yourself?
I'm not in therapy right now, but
okay.
On and off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, I guess
everybody.
running is your therapy, right? Running.
Running?
Yeah, that's your therapy.
Dance.
Wait,
Dancing.
I'm sorry, dancing. Yeah.
And I mean, I run too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But dance even more.
That's good. You gotta have an outlet.
Yep. And I mean, I'm lucky. Most of my friends are therapists.
Really?
Yeah.
How amazing.
So they know exactly how to help me.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
So every time you get together, it's like a therapy session.
sometimes we're just like, we just need to do something fun.
Yeah.
And, not think about stuff. But yeah, a lot of times it's moving through life together and talking about things. And I'm so grateful for my.
So let me ask you this now. So what you doing this career, right? Does this help you in your personal life? Do you apply it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I had to ask because I had a therapist. I asked a question like that as well.
What'd they say?
She said, yeah, she said, I make my kids go to therapy. I make my husband go to therapy. I said, good. That's great.
Yeah.
So.
No, it changes you for sure.
Yeah.
It just changes you. I'd like to say for the better. I wonder if everybody would say that. But no, I think it really does. It makes you more intentional. I think one thing that's a little bit tricky and hard about it is that sometimes when you're a therapist, you think you can't have a bad day, like when I'm talking to like a customer service person and just like anybody that can really piss me off.
Yeah.
When you're getting transferred to every department.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have this voice in the back of my head, like, like I can't have a bad day. Like I can't appear frustrated because I'm supposed to like come off as this like communication expert or something like that. So that's one challenge I sometimes have about being a therapist. That can be hard. But I think in general, it keeps your mind on, just on good intentions, like trying to be a good communicator. And I think it helps. Yeah. I mean, never perfect. You're never perfect.
Well, yeah. So it made you a better person, you think?
I like to think so.
Okay, you have some work to do.
Yeah, I got some work to do, of course.
I feel that. I mean, me too. I'll be the first one to tell you that. No, that's cool. That's why I had to ask, because I want to know, because I know some people that are into this in this field, they don't do it themselves. They used to telling everybody else what to do, but when it comes to them, they don't have the self-love they need for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's very important.
Yeah, it can be easy to fall into that, and like therapists aren't perfect either.
Yeah.
No one's perfect.
So do you ever feel like, I guess, overwhelmed when you get off from work, when you go home, just hearing about this shit? Do you carry it home with you?
Do I carry it home with me?
Yeah.
I think I am able to release it most of the time, but there are certain things that really do you hear and you're like, oh God, like
it's that
the
bad.
fact, like it's the fact that people have to go through this. Sometimes it can weigh on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I admire you for doing that. Seriously.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard field. I think it can be.
It's really similar to what you're doing here. I mean, you're asking questions.
That's true.
And just getting to know somebody.
Right.
Being curious about them.
Yeah.
You'd be a really good therapist.
You think
Have you
so?
thought about it?
You know, I have thought about it, but at the same time, it's like I don't even know which part of therapy would I be in if I was to do it. I don't know if I do family therapy, relationship therapy, trauma therapy. I don't even know.
I mean, a lot of people do all of it.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta go to school though, huh?
You gotta go to school.
A lot of school. Oh my God.
You have to go. Yeah, you have to get a master's.
I know. Jesus Christ. See, I've been out of school for a long time, and I had my student loans forgiven recently because I went to art school. They had committed fraud. I had owed like $113,000. I know, and it went down to zero now, so I can start over now.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yes.
Because of the legal stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, they got shut down. They got sued, and yeah, they sent me an email back in May. It was like, hey, we forgiving your federal loans. The private loan wasn't forgiven yet. It was still like $70,000. I'm like, God damn. So I saw an article on Forbes magazine because I just read shit all the time just because. And I said it had a private loan forgiveness form, whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they normally don't have that shit. That's what it said in the article. So I ended up calling Navient, the student loan agency. I called them and I said, hey, I read an article about the private loan forgiveness plan. Can I get a form, whatever? And the lady, she was very receptive about it. So she mailed me these documents. I had to fill it out. I had to like write down like how it affected my life as far as like having all the debt and how the school lied to me and all these different things. I had to mail in my job resumes as well from over the years, and
Wow.
it took about a month or so, but it got approved, so it went down to zero.
Oh
now,
my God.
Yeah, my debt, yeah.
That's amazing.
So now I can start over fresh now. You know what I mean? And
what did you feel when you got the letter that it had been forgiven?
Oh my God, I rejoiced. I did. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, I had like this depression feeling over me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I didn't care if I live or die sometimes because I had all that debt. I'm like, well, I said maybe if I die, the debt just go away.
Right.
That's how I know. It's a horrible way to think. I know.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
Debt is crushing.
It's horrible.
And it's extremely exploitative.
Yeah.
The way, oh God, I could talk about that forever.
It
makes me so angry.
It's
the systems, it's so terrible.
It is.
These interest rates that nobody can pay, and they know that.
Right.
And that's why they do it.
And it's crazy because my debt wasn't even that much at first, you know what I mean? But over the years, it just increased horribly. And now I talk to a lot of the young people, a lot of young college students. I say, hey, look, do not do this, do not do that. If anything, if you get a grant, pay out of pocket, do that at least. The student loans, try to avoid as much as you can.
Yeah.
Especially private loan. Don't do private loan. Private loans, you cannot do forbearance. You cannot do deferments.
Right.
Nothing. You can't do bankruptcy either. So I dealt with it for like 18 years, a long time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a long time, and it affected me. I mean, I navigated. I learned how to survive and all that, but it was definitely horrible. You know, it was hard at times. But now it's like I feel so much better now. I can have a second chance. I can plan for my future. I can work on investments now.
Wow.
So it definitely helps, like having it eliminated. But
so
I manifested. I told myself last year, I said, I'm gonna get this paid off in the next 5 years. I said, I don't know how, but I'm getting it paid off. And then it happened. It did.
Yeah.
Which I was like, amazing. So
that is amazing.
I checked my account multiple times just to make sure it was for real. I said, let me just check just to make sure they ain't changed their mind and put the debt back on there, So
yeah.
I said before I make a post about it. So I checked it. I even checked it a few days ago just to make sure. And yeah, still zero. I said, thank God.
Good. Just checking that every day.
Yeah, that's PTSD.
Yeah?
For real. That's horrible.
It's horrible. I'm so glad that was cleared for you. I think it's interesting that we were just fed this idea, like you need to go to a 4-year institution, and that's the only way that you can be successful.
Right. The American dream.
Yeah, right. And then the fact of the matter is, we were forced to make that decision so young. Right. And sometimes like life is so fluid, and sometimes we decide I actually found my passion, and it's not this thing that I paid all this money for. Oh. But then we still have to pay it back.
I know, that's hard. They don't talk about that part at all. And that's how the way how they got me. I was doing music production at the time, And how they got me, they showed me the studio. They're like, hey, here's a big studio. This is where you be working at, blah, 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 blah. And I said, what do I sign? I didn't even ask any question. I was like, what do I sign? And I signed it. I didn't know about APRs and none of that stuff at the time, APR rates. But that's how they got me. Mm-hmm. And when I went to school, they had us use an old software from 99. I said, 99? I said, amazing. Yeah, then the equipment I bought, like a microphone, headphones, they charged up the ass for that shit. It was way more expensive compared to going to Guitar Center. Wow. Yeah. So, yep. So I'm glad things happened the way it did, even though it sucked going through it over the years. Yeah. Especially trying to get a place to live, trying to get cars. It was very difficult. I made it work, but it was very difficult.
Well, it's shitty that you had to go through all that crap, even if in the end it was forgiven. The fact that you spent 18 years having to think about this and having like that cloud over your head of debt.
It was horrible.
Oh, God.
It was sad.
Yeah, it really is terrible.
So you didn't have school loans, did you? Or you paid out of pocket, or you had grants?
So when you get a PhD, you like work for the university.
Okay,
to cover
nice.
It. Yeah. So really, really lucky with that.
So it's like 10 years, right?
Well, undergrad 4, and then 6 years PhD. So it's 10 years. That's a long time.
God, I think I just do a podcast because because the older I get, not to say I can't do it, but the older I get, it is hard to like, I guess, get into that study mode again. Yeah. Because so many distractions now.
Oh man, I don't think I could do it now.
It's hard, and then bills. I mean,
I know exactly. No, when I was younger, I liked school, and then when I was getting near the end of the PhD, I was like, oh God, let me out.
You hate it now?
Well, yeah, I liked it. I'm glad I did it. But if somebody said you have to do it over again, I'd be like,
fuck
no. Yeah. I still have dreams about having to finish my dissertation, and I'm just
really. It's
like going through mud. Yeah,
really?
Like whoa.
Jeez.
Crawling through
mud. Wow, amazing. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with this?
Well, so I'm expanding my business. I don't know. So I really am focusing a lot on expanding my business right now.
Really? Like in the state or in the city or where?
In the city.
Okay.
So, I've got 7 other therapists that work with me now.
Okay. Look at you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. That's
makes me really happy. I really, really like it.
It's nice.
It's really fun because not only do I get to support my clients, but I also get to support the therapists in this community because it's shitty, but a lot of therapy jobs are really exploitive. I hope I'm saying that word right. But they don't pay therapists enough, and
no, they don't.
Yeah, they don't. So I'm trying to fix that problem.
Really?
I mean, I can't fix the whole problem.
No,
I'm trying to do my part.
But your business, at least you can fix
exactly.
it. Right.
Exactly. So, I really just want to keep growing that for the next 5 years. In terms of professional goals, that's sort of where I'm at, is keep growing my business and working with my clients, and
So what's the age range you work with? Is it like young people or older people or middle-aged people?
It's all of them. I don't work with kids, but we've got 3 therapists that work with kids, and then I just work with adult couples.
Yeah.
But basically all ages.
Okay.
We work with. Yeah,
so who's the hardest to deal with? Is the young people the hardest to deal with, or is it like the older people that's hard to deal with marriage couples? Yeah.
It varies.
Okay.
I think sometimes though, with people who have been together for a really long time and they haven't been to therapy, they've had like this resistance to go to therapy, and then they wait too long, and they have like this really ingrained pattern. It takes a while. It takes a while to be able to break that down and to get them communicating in a better way, because they're so on the defensive, and there's just been this hurt that's accumulated through so many years.
Mm.
That is definitely the hardest. It just takes longer. They've got to do more work. I've got to do more work. That's going to be a lot more challenging than like a premarital couple who are coming in to break their patterns before they get bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You ever had any couples where you kind of felt, I guess, afraid for?
Afraid that they were going to
do something crazy, yeah.
Do something crazy?
Yeah. To each other or, yeah.
Verbal abuse stuff. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, there have been a couple physical abuse, but I refer those out quickly because with physical abuse, you can't do couples therapy. You need to be like, you guys need to do individual therapy, work on anger that's coming up, trauma, responses, things like that. They need to do individual therapy. So if I do see that, I refer them out really quick to individual therapy.
So it is, I guess, so what you do, so I guess you don't really hold much judgment with people, do you? Because you see everything pretty much. You hear everything.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Sometimes when people are really mean to their partners, I have trouble not judging that because it sucks. It's like,
and they mean like right in front of you?
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. It's not funny, but wow.
Which I wouldn't want them to
suppress it.
To act not like themselves or how they do in the relationship around me, because what's the point of paying for therapy in that case? But yeah, it's hard Jesus. Not to have a part of your brain that's like, stop doing that when people are verbally abusive and things like that. But it's also a privilege to be able to be there and help them with that, because them coming to therapy is a commitment to them working on that and changing that. So,
do you see these people outside of work, like at Walmart or somewhere? Wait, Starbucks?
Yeah, sometimes.
For real? Did they come
grocery store?
Yeah. They come speak to you, huh?
Not always. So I always tell them, you can come up to me.
Okay. And
that's an invitation for me to talk to you, but I won't acknowledge you because I don't want to give up your confidentiality.
Yeah.
But if they come up to me, I'm always happy to say hi. But sometimes, moving throughout our day and see them, maybe give some eye contact and move on. And that's okay too.
That is interesting. See, in a way, it's like I kind of do want to, I guess, be a therapist in some ways. Sometimes I do, but
yeah.
I don't want to go to school though. I don't want to go back to school. I'm done with that.
I don't think everybody feels this way, but I honestly wish there was another path, because I don't necessarily think taking tests and reading books, that's not for everybody, and it doesn't have to be for everybody who wants to be a counselor.
Right.
I think, I could get on a soapbox about that, but I think the education system that we have, it's only
shitty. Built
for one sort of brain. Mm-hmm. And why are we just focusing on this one type of intelligence that you don't need that type of intelligence to be a counselor?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I wish that would change. I wish there was another way rather than like,
maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Next 50 years probably, when we really old.
Yeah.
Huh. See, I think I was thinking too, like while we was talking, I think if anything, I would do maybe like a trauma related therapy. I think just because I went through a lot of shit. I'm like,
right. You can really have empathy for that.
Yeah, I can relate. I'm like, yeah, this is what I did or whatever, or it's okay to feel this way. And I tell people all the time, it's okay to feel how you feel.
Yes.
Just don't allow yourself to get stuck.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. What do you think it means to get stuck?
Just to, to not come out of it. Like, just stay in this depressed state without trying to see without seeing the flowers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even when I was depressed, I still try to see the good in something.
Yeah.
I try. Because that's how my mom was. I had her as an example.
Yeah.
Because, seeing her going through different hardships, she was always, not always, but she was positive for the most part. She always still had hope.
Yeah.
Even to the day she died, she had hope.
That makes a lot of sense. I think that, like we can still be depressed and have hope. But the shitty thing about depression is it can just be that cloud that's like that takes away you being able to see the flowers and the good things in the day, because it's that negativity bias.
Yeah, it is. It is. You just gotta. I guess for me, I'm just. I guess I'm just a different kind of person. But I just try to. When I was depressed, very depressed, I start going outside. I start trying to, look at the birds chirp. Well, okay, no, I take that back. Well, what made me kind of get out my depression? I went outside. I said, you know what? People outside washing their car, birds flying, leaves falling, the wind is blowing. Life goes on.
Yeah.
I still gotta live. I'm still here. I gotta make the best of while I'm still here.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped me get out of my depression. Is having that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
It's showing appreciation.
Sense. Right. The appreciation.
And even my injury, right? Like, I still have my issues sometimes, but I'm a lot better now. So any good days I have, I try to show appreciation. Because I remember where I was when I couldn't even walk that well.
Yeah.
I couldn't work for a long time. It was horrible.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's one thing about depression is that a lot of times what, I don't want to say causes it because it's not the whole root of it, but what can happen before like a depressive episode is a loss, like the loss of your physical abilities. It's loss sucks, and it causes a lot of grief.
Right.
And moving through grief is really challenging. Especially, I think a big part of depression can be like when we go through grief and there's something that blocks the movement of it, of just going through the grief and feeling sad. It's like we start to feel shitty about ourselves too for feeling the grief and for feeling sad, and it starts to snowball.
Yeah, it does. It's crazy I say this. I'm kind of glad I went through what I went through, just because it made me a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Like whenever I do have my moments, trust me, but when I do have situations that occur, I know how to navigate through it because I went through worse. So it's not as bad.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like you know that you've been through it before.
Right.
You also know that it sounds like it made you a better person. It made you have more empathy.
Oh yeah, absolutely did. For sure, I try to. It's like whenever somebody's going through something, I will I reach out. Somebody lost somebody, or even whatever situation. Even this woman I had at my job, she's an older woman. She's like I think like 70 or whatever, but she has a sciatic nerve, and I had that, and I gave her information what I did to get better. I said, look, this is what I did. This is where I went to. This is what I started eating. All these different things to help her out. You know what I mean? Because I hated to see her. Because I know how she feel. I've been there. So I get it. When some of my friends who lost their moms and all that, I'm like, look, I went through it. If you need to talk to me, reach out. I said, I get it.
Yeah.
I said, it sucks, So it definitely helps. It sucks going through the shit, but it definitely helps if you have the mentality to look at it from a positive standpoint.
Absolutely. It makes a huge difference in people's lives.
Right.
To know that there's someone in their life that gets it and understands them.
Absolutely. So you say you have 2 siblings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do they have their own? Do they go to therapy themselves or no? Do they talk to you? Do they ask you questions like, "Hey, Tasha, I'm going through this right now. What would you do?"
Yeah, once in a while.
For real?
Me and my sister we're identical twins, and we're best friends.
So you said she's out of state, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in Oregon.
Okay. In what, Portland, Oregon?
Yep, Portland.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
And yeah, really, she does that for me too. We do that just for each other.
Really?
Like, here, I'm going through this. What's happening for you? We do that for each other.
That's awesome.
My brother, he, he's my older brother. He's like protective a little bit, so I don't think he wants to put too much of his shit on me. But sometimes we'll have heart to hearts and things like that, and yeah.
How many years older is he from you?
4 years.
4. Okay. Yeah. I mean that's natural. I talk to my sister as well, but I don't tell her everything, but I do talk to her about certain things just to get a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
That's all.
Is she older or younger?
She's younger than me.
Younger? Yeah.
Yeah, she's a year younger than me, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 6 siblings.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Where are you in the birth order?
I'm the youngest boy.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
the youngest boy. Okay.
And my sister, she's 37. She's the youngest.
Oh
Out of
wow.
everybody else, yeah. So my oldest brother's 52.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so all of us in between that.
Yeah.
Yo, so it's interesting, you know, especially growing up, you know, having older siblings. It was very interesting just to learn from them. And
What do you think you learned from him?
Well, as far as like music, a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of different artists, different movies that they grew up watching that I didn't see until I came along with them. Yeah, just stuff like that, pretty much. Like nothing. I would say anything like with nothing, but yeah. As far as like movies and stuff, yeah. But mentality, not really. My mom, she was huge with that. She was definitely huge with that, you know, because she actually worked with at-risk kids once upon a time. Yeah, she did that. She worked for a rehab center once upon a time as well.
Wow.
Yup, she did.
Was she like a social worker or that kind of thing?
It was very similar. Like she had these kids and she'll like take them in the van, take them places, and then I think like by 4 or 5 o'clock they go home or whatever.
Oh.
But she did that for a while, and like I said, she worked for a rehab center as well, mental health rehab facility.
Wow.
It was back in the 90s, yeah. So I've been around all this stuff.
You think you're like your mom?
Oh, no.
No? I was just kind of getting some vibes. What you do for a living too is.
I mean, some things I do, but at the same time, it's like she was on a whole different level, different scale than me, big time. I mean, I was a boxer and stuff, so I mean, I was really into that. But she was really just not perfect, but she was amazing. She really was.
Aww.
You know, everybody she met, if she met you, she would like, you want some food? She offer you some food.
Aww.
She like, can I get a hug? You know, she give you a hug. That's how she was. You know what I mean? She was just very personable, and I got that part from her. I did that part.
Yeah.
And she's very empathetic. She was very empathetic. That's for sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Wow.
Yep.
Sounds like an amazing person.
She was a diabetic, and that's what she passed from. I had to fly home for that. We had to unplug the machine.
Oh.
Yeah, which that sucked.
God.
Yep. And then like after that, I told my manager here out in Fort Collins, I said, hey, look, I said, let me get a therapist when I come back. I said, because I can't take it. And I knew I
you
felt
shouldn't
it.
have to.
No, I felt it. I felt like I about to lose my mind. I said, yeah, let me just get myself some help before it get worse. Yeah. So at least I took the initiative to do that, because some people don't. I'm like, no, let me just get myself some help right now while I can. Because she was like my best friend. You know what I mean? We talked all the time about everything pretty much.
Wow.
We were talking on the phone for hours. And before she died, we talked on the phone for like about 3 hours. And she told me so much family shit I never heard before. I said, amazing.
Wow. Yeah,
stuff I never heard. And she just told me, and then she died that next week, like after my birthday.
Oh my God.
Yep. It was back in 2020, January 2020. And then
2020.
Mm-hmm. Then my father died in September 2020.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he had COVID, but he also had colon cancer. He was a diabetic. He had multiple sclerosis, hepatitis C. He had all these different illnesses going on. And having COVID, along with not eating and taking his medicine, it just wiped him out really quick.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't take long at all. Like, so he got to the hospital. When he went to hospice, he deteriorated really quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was he like?
What was he? Ooh. He was multifaceted. Yes. He went through a lot of trauma himself.
No.
A lot. Yeah. He was artistic. He used to paint and draw pictures. He was into martial arts.
Wow.
He DJ'd, but he also was a street guy at the same time. He was in the streets heavily. He used to go to jail on and off. So I was like 14. Alcoholic.
Wow.
He did all kind of different things. A lot of shit he did. I wish he was alive, because like he definitely had a story, a real crazy story. He's seen a lot. You know, seen a lot of death, a lot of murders, and a lot of stuff. He was around. He been around a lot of different things.
Wow.
Yep. And he had a lot of issues. It's not, I'm not talking shit. It's just facts. Anybody know him will tell you that.
When you go through that much stuff, it takes a lot of work.
It does. It's a lot. I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. You know, he went to therapy. He would never like talk about his problems. He would ask the therapist like, "So what are you doing?" Instead of talking about what's going on with him, he would just ask the therapist questions. So he just
it's an easy way to avoid it.
pretty much. That's
Avoid
what
talking about yourself. Yeah,
that's what he did. So he was interesting. I could say that. You know, we had our moments. We bump heads at times. You know, I mean, it's just a given that happens. But at the same time, he was definitely very caring at times as well. Like if he like you and respect you, love you a lot, he's there for you 100%.
Wow.
He have your back 100%. But like I say, he was just a multifaceted guy.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like you took some things from him. Like he did martial arts, you did boxing.
I did music for a while. I did music production. I played in the band. I did like a little DJing as well, but I was more into making music, playing instruments and stuff. I was into that.
Wow.
And writing.
And the art too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
My younger sister, she is in art. She graduated with a bachelor's in animation. Mm-hmm. She went to the same school I went to, so her loans got forgiven as well.
Wow.
She owed like 120 something thousand. I'm like, Jesus. Yeah, it was a lot of money, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So much money.
And it sucks because they preyed upon our dreams. They took advantage of that. But yeah, she was definitely an artist. My oldest brother, he was a DJ, and he's really into business. That's what he went to school for, was business. But he works in IT. He does like a lot of stuff at the hospitals. He travels. He go to Canada and go to Chicago and different places. He worked locally back home as well in Atlanta. But yeah, that's what he does. He do his thing. He don't really DJ anymore as much like he used to, but that's what he did for a while.
Interesting.
Yeah. Then the economy just went to shit,
Yeah.
So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have any family out here in Colorado, or are they?
Nah, I'm the lone wolf.
What brought you out here then?
A woman at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, I moved out here for a woman. We was together for a while and we broke up 5 years ago. And I was gonna move back, but then when my mom died and I went home, I said, it don't even feel like home anymore, And as a man, I have evolved so much. I changed a lot. Well, I'm still the same person, but I'm just I'm more open-minded, if that makes sense. And I've been open-minded anyway because I went to art school for sure.
Right.
Because I've been around all kind of people, but I became a lot more open-minded. Like I'm just willing to try, within reason. Within reason, depending what it is.
Doing something like this where you're talking to all sorts of people that you might not otherwise meet if you were living in a bubble. I think that'll really shape your mind and make you more open-minded.
Absolutely.
Just be like, there's not just one way to live and to be.
No.
So many different ways.
No.
Yeah.
I think you're very open-minded as well. I can tell.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So where you get your mindset from? Who shaped your mind? Your mom, your dad.
Yeah.
Friends. Okay.
I think, gosh, all of them. I think that, gosh, I can't believe I haven't reflected on that more.
Yeah, you need to.
I do need to. My mindset.
Yes.
Gosh, I guess what I'm having a hard time right now is just pinning down what is my mindset. I guess I'm in my own mind so much. Maybe somebody else could tell me even better what kind of mindset I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can see that. I mean, you just seem very open-minded to me. You just seem like you just really chill, real cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got a great personality, great energy. And I feel that.
That's so nice.
Absolutely, I feel it. For sure.
Wow.
And energy is huge for me, for real. Like I'm really into that big time. Like I went to I had Reiki done on me before.
Yeah.
And I would have never thought I would do that ever. You would have told me 12 years ago.
What did you think about it?
It was cool. Like I had to. You got to be open minded for it. You got to be receptive, and I was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I did it, I had her on my show actually a while back. Her name is Kim. But she came over to my house. I'm sorry. I came over to her office and she did it for me a few times, and it was definitely unique because I had all this pain in my back, and she was just bringing up stuff I never even told her. And I said, amazing. That's how you even know that.
Wow.
You know, yeah, it was crazy. And I felt good. Like once I got done, once she did the Reiki, I went home. I just took a shower, ate, and just relaxed. Yeah, because I felt kind of like a little tired after all that. It was a good experience though.
Yeah.
And I do yoga now. Like I done aerial yoga before,
Ooh.
which is different.
Is that with the silks?
Yeah, it's different, very different. Yeah, some things I'm not doing all that, but I did do some things.
Yeah.
And I had one of the instructors on my podcast as well. Yeah. It was but yeah, it was a good experience, and I'm just open. I went to a burlesque show a while back with this woman I know. She invited me. I said I guess I'll go. I don't have shit to do, so I went, and I said it's interesting, you know. It was definitely different for sure than what I'm used to.
Yeah. I think it's so good for people to go expose themselves to stuff they wouldn't otherwise, because it's so easy to fall into a bubble of doing stuff that only you or your little bubble does. But
Absolutely.
Then we don't get exposed to all that.
I went to a dominatrix event a while back. I got invited today. I said, I guess I go. I mean, I just went and watched.
Yeah.
I said it was different because one of my friends, his wife is a dominatrix, which I didn't know that until she showed me a video. I said, amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And she was kicking this dude in the nuts. I said, why would you want to do that? Like, for real, you know? But he pays a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
Like, they make a lot of money.
Wow.
Buku money, like thousands.
That's amazing.
That is amazing indeed. I said, he need to be evaluated. I said, that's crazy, okay?
I love hearing about people just like doing their weird freaky shit and just like letting their freak flag fly.
Yeah. I mean, I like freaky shit. I ain't gonna lie, but not kicking my nuts. That's diabolical. No, I can't do that. But that was like, so it was a crazy event, but I met some cool people there as well. You know, which was pretty dope. So I just keep myself open to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Just to, just different experience, just learn about different shit. Not be as judgmental.
Right.
That's all.
I know. I think it's so important. I think the whole world would change if that felt like a priority that we were all working towards.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just to bridge that gap. And that's why I do this show, because I like having people from different backgrounds, no matter where they from, what they look like, whatever, just to show the humanity in these people.
Yeah.
Even yourself, like, we all have some kind of humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
We all have, childhood. We all have our own traumas and different things we went through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact you do therapy or counseling, I think that's incredible. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Seriously, like, just being around you, I can see why you do that shit.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got a great energy for that. Seriously, a lot of knowledge.
You do too. I really like.
I appreciate it.
I think you should do it.
I don't want to go back to school. That was the thing.
I know.
I don't want to do any more loans.
It sucks how often I hear that from friends that would be amazing therapists, and they want to be therapists too, but they're like, the school shit is not for me. And I'm like, yeah, it sucks. Like, you'd be such a good therapist.
I have a disdain for school. Seriously.
Yeah.
And I think I have a real good reason to be. Because I'm like, no. I say after 18 years.
I know. Well, especially because it can really be a system that exploits people in the end. That you rack up these student debts, and then the interest is just predatory. So.
Oh my God, horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I went to a trade school too. I meant to mention that. I went to a trade school. I graduated doing IT. Just taking apart the computer, like putting the hardware together, putting the motherboard together.
Oh wow.
I done all that, but I'm not working doing that because I just like my job. I travel. I like to travel. I don't want to just be stationary.
Yeah.
Like doing cubicle jobs, I done it before for IBM a long time ago, and I hated it.
It sounds tough. I think some people's brains are wired for that.
Right.
Meticulous, tedious stuff.
Yes.
And I know I couldn't do it.
No, it sucked. It was horrible.
Yeah.
We had the shift bid, and I'm like, you don't get the shift that you want. You got to work it for the next 3 months. I hated that. it was not cool at all. No.
No. I think it's really good. It's really important information when you try something and you realize it's not for you.
Right.
But then it sucks if you have to start pay loans from it.
That's why I can't go to school.
I know.
Mm-mm.
I wish that we could all experiment with things a little bit more before having to shell out so much dough on it.
I was gonna ask this though. Do you ever recommend your clients to do weed or anything?
To do weed?
Yeah, for their therapy.
Well, I mean, a big part of it is that I can't
you can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Like
right.
substances, and I can't just not being an MD.
So no pills, right? You don't do that either.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. So if I'll work with clients sometimes, and I'm like, "Are you open to taking an antidepressant to supplement our work?" And some people are, some people aren't. I totally respect that. I'm not about pressuring people.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone has, they're the expert on themselves. But yeah, sometimes people want to go that route as well, and they have to work with a prescriber for that, like a psychiatrist.
Right. Do you recommend anybody to go to a certain psychiatrist, or they do it themselves?
Oh yeah, I totally recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. So I guess it had to be like a severe case. I'm assuming.
Get to a certain point.
Right.
Yeah, get to a certain point of, it doesn't have to be so severe, depending on what that person is open to. But yeah, moderate to severe.
Right.
Anxiety or depression, that kind of thing.
Right.
Sometimes it can help people engage in therapy in a way that they might not be able to. I mean, when there's that really big dark cloud and depression has taken its toll and it's putting you in this freeze response, sometimes it can be hard to even show up in therapy because you don't feel motivated, so people might start like canceling sessions and things like that just because they don't feel motivated. So like that's an example where it can be really helpful to work with a prescriber too, just to get a little bit more of that boost so that they can do the work in therapy too.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. You ever had those moments in therapy where you don't feel your best?
Me personally?
Yes, you. Yes.
And in my own personal therapy, or when I'm giving therapy?
When you're giving therapy.
Yeah.
And they can see it on your face. So you don't want to be here, do you?
I know. Well, it is hard. That's one thing that's hard about my career is that I'm a human too, and sometimes I go through my own shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I still got to show up to work every single day.
Yeah. That's
and I don't want it to show on my face. I don't. But yeah, I'm a human too, and sometimes I'm sure sometimes it comes through. I've never actually had someone ask me that,
Really?
Never had anyone ask me like, "Are you in a bad mood today?" I hope it's bound to happen one day.
Probably, yeah. If you keep doing this,
Yeah, exactly. That would suck, but I'd have to deal with it. I'd be very called out in that moment.
Hey, you're only human. It's okay.
Thanks for saying that.
I tell people, so you gotta give yourself grace.
Yeah,
it's very important.
Yeah,
because we're so hard on ourselves all the time.
I know.
So, do you ever have any like insecurities, like body dysmorphia, anything like that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Like body image stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is it because social media or what?
Social media is a part of it.
Lord have mercy. Okay.
I think maybe part of it is being a human and having some experiences. Yeah, experiences that I've had that have been unfortunate. Things that I've been told.
Is it because people told you? Okay, I was about to ask that. You answered for me. Okay. Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. I mean, I guess I the same way.
Yeah. I know.
It sucks.
It does suck.
It is what it is, though.
It is what it is. It's like, what do you do about it?
Right. I mean, the thing I think about, so you know what? There's people that will kill to look like you, to look like me. You know what I mean? So I have to be appreciative for that, for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think we just gotta work towards that self-acceptance.
Absolutely.
Piece, and not putting all of our worth on the physical.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be hard in this culture sometimes when people make money off of people wanting to look a certain way, and they don't get as much money when people don't feel as driven or bad about themselves. So
I was gonna ask you this too about looking. What do you think about the BBL stuff?
What's BBL?
The Brazilian butt lift that women be doing.
Oh,
yeah. What do you think about that? I think it's detrimental.
So is it like the plastic surgery on the butt?
And some women die from that shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I read about a woman going to Miami or Brazil or somewhere, and she went to this cheap ass surgeon. And I think he put like cement or whatever in it.
Oh my God.
And
what?
she died. I'm like, I said, yeah,
that's terrible.
it is.
I think it's sad because it's a reflection of how our culture can be just put so much emphasis
On
looks and if being not okay to look just the way that you look. So that sucks.
It is horrible.
Yeah.
That's why I wish more women would see that. Like,
I know.
Look, you find the way you are. I mean, if you want to work on things, you can, do some squats, do some lunges.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, do that. But the surgery stuff, I don't recommend it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing you get your boobs done. I don't really care about that. You can do that or not. That's fine. But the whole butt thing is like, no, it's just if you have a big butt, fine. If you don't, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Just learn how to accept yourself the way you are.
Yeah. Well, you saying that, I hope that you just continue putting that out in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many women, the stuff that women have to go through,
right,
can be. That's not always the message that women get from men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're okay just the way you are. You don't have to change anything about yourself. You don't have to look perfect, or you don't have to look like a model. Things like that. So it's really good that you're putting that out in the world, and I hope you continue to do that.
I appreciate it. It's true to me. Like I said before, like the physical stuff definitely helps, but the inside is like, if we can communicate, if we can get along with each other, like that's huge for me. For real, seriously. Like everything else, that's fine. That's a bonus for me, but I gotta be able to get along with you. Mm-hmm. Be able to have meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep putting that message out there because I want people to be able to listen and change their mindset. I can't change everybody, but maybe I can help one or two people out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Something.
Well, and even if sometimes it's just planting a seed,
right? And
the plant doesn't mature until later.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a seed that's been a part of that person's life, and who knows how it might affect them later.
Facts. That's very true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean that's real. That's real shit. So how long you been dancing? Like what got you into dancing? Like what made you want to do that? Start. You started when you was a child, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, started when I was a kid.
You was on a dance team.
Oh. I tried the dance team. That didn't work out so great.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me and my sister just really liked dancing. There's something about just moving our bodies that felt really good. Yeah, I think I mentioned, I can't remember if you were recording or not, that I was never any good, but I really enjoyed it.
Right.
And so in high school, me and my sister tried to join the dance team. And it was just, that was one moment in high school where, oh gosh, all the girls would just circle up and do stretches before dancing, and they'd all just like shit talk like their friends and like gossip about everybody.
Of course.
And me and my sister would like look at each other and be like, "Oh my god, we do not belong here." And yeah, so that wasn't really the environment. But then we really found, with dance, we started hula hooping.
Okay.
And I got super into that. So
do you still do it?
I don't really do it that much anymore.
Okay.
Maybe once in a while.
You don't have time.
I mean, I guess I kind of just got sort of bored with it.
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe I'll start doing it again. That's what whenever I talk about it, I was like, I should do that.
You could. Yeah. Why not? Make some time for that. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was fun. That was something I did with my sister, and we had a ton of fun.
So does she dance as well? No, right now.
Right now.
Yeah. Is she into fitness?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We do like fitness dance classes, both of us. So that's what she does. She does that every week
Awesome.
with her friends. Yeah.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
she'll come to visit you sometimes, or you come visit her? Or what?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
All the time. Yeah. It's
Awesome.
one of my top priorities.
Yeah.
Is just seeing her.
So y'all real close.
Yeah, super close.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
pregnant
keep
right
that.
now.
She's pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Was she having a boy or a girl?
Okay, so this is the thing: is I'm the only one that knows the gender.
Really? Okay, so we won't record it now.
We can't record it because
No.
She told me to look at her chart,
Yeah.
and I actually saw it last night. And she wants me to look at the chart, and then I'm gonna tell a bakery to make her like a gender reveal cake.
Okay.
And so I have to tell them the color of the cake. It's either gonna be blue or pink, depending on if it's a boy or a girl.
Mhm.
So that was my role. So
Nice.
nobody else is gonna know about the gender until the gender
Nice.
reveal.
So what's the baby due? Is it in the next few months, or is it next year, or what?
April 10th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Sweet. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So
sure. Is
excited.
she nervous or excited or what?
She's so excited.
Really?
She's not nervous at all.
Really?
Yeah.
This is her first child.
It's her first kid. Yeah.
And she's not nervous at all.
She's not nervous at all.
I'd be nervous as fuck.
I know. I would too.
Oh
Me too.
my
Honestly.
God. Cause you're never ready.
No, you're never
Not
ready.
really?
Yeah, that's one thing that comes up a lot in the themes I have with, like pregnant moms and pregnant couples is they're all scared
Right.
and they're all really nervous, and that's just normal.
Yeah.
There's no way around that.
No,
It's
it's
just
not.
kind of like managing the nerves
Mhm.
and listening to them. You know, they're telling you that you want to prepare, and you can prepare to some extent. You can read some books. You can talk to some people who have been through it before, but you're never really ready. You're never really like ready.
So you don't have any kids, right?
No kids.
Okay.
No kids yet. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's pretty awesome. Well, congratulations to her. And I know she don't know me, but what's her name?
Zoe.
Congratulations, Zoe. Nice.
She'll be happy to hear that when she listens.
Sweet. Hell yeah, that's dope. Well, I appreciate this a lot. This has been very fun. I was gonna ask something. I can't remember. I had something on my mind, but it went away. I probably think about it when I'm driving.
I know, that happens to me all the time. That's
It's
why,
sad.
you know, in therapy, I have my little notebook and I can write stuff down.
Mhm.
And then in the real world, I don't have my notebook anymore,
Right.
and I feel lost.
Oh, jeez.
I just have all these thoughts that come in my head, and I forget them, and then I remember them later, and I miss my notebook.
I do that when I grocery shop.
Mm-hmm.
I have it like I'm like I need to buy this, buy that. Then when I get there, I get like 2 items, and then I'm like, oh fuck, but I'm already home,
Yep.
and I don't want to go back out.
I know.
Which
You
is
think
sad.
about it on the way home.
Mhm.
Similar to when, after Halloween, you think about the best Halloween costumes.
Right. You dressing up though, right? No.
I'm going to dress up. I don't know what I'm going to dress up as
It's
yet.
gonna be Elsa from Frozen. You ever seen it before?
My nieces love
There you go.
Elsa.
See?
That would be really
So you
good.
can do that.
Yeah, she would love that. That's a great idea.
You got the look. You
Should
can do that.
Thanks.
Absolutely, yeah.
Should do that for her. I love that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Are
Yeah.
you gonna take a trick or treating or what?
Well, they live in Breck.
Oh,
my
never
niece.
mind. Okay.
Yeah, I would if they lived here.
Maybe you could do like a video call or something.
I should.
A virtual trick or treat. Oh no, I don't know how that work, but yeah. No, but I appreciate this a lot for real because I'm just trying to I guess get more clarity, and just other people had questions as well. They just want to know.
Yeah.
So I think this is great. I appreciate your time. And do you have like you want people to follow your social media, website, anything or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've had so much fun talking to you. This has been
This has
really,
been
really
great. I
fun.
know. We
Thank
gotta
you so much for reaching out, and
we should do a part 2 though.
yeah, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Okay. Website.
Website. Yeah.
Yeah.
www.marriagecounselingfortcollins.com is the website. So check us out there.
Do you have a social media you want people to follow you, or you not really?
Yeah. I
Okay.
have an Instagram. It's Dr. So dr.tasha.relationship.therapy. Never
Sweet.
said that verbally. It's kind of odd to say verbally.
It's different, huh?
Yeah.
No, that is incredible. Like I really do appreciate this a lot. This is just incredible for real.
Thanks.
You was very easy to talk to.
Yeah, you are too.
I appreciate it. I'm trying.
Yeah, you're like made for this. I don't know how you found. How'd you find this?
Well, okay, this is another thing about my father. My father worked in radio once upon a time. And I've been on his show a couple of times back in the day. And that was pretty much my start.
Wow.
Like just that experience. And then right before I injured my back, I had bought this equipment because I was about to move to Salt Lake City for a job. And I got injured. So I said, I guess I'd be staying here then. And that's when I decided to start doing my podcast. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and just record while I'm still here recovering. So that's what I did. Yep. And then, like I said, I just felt like, I have a story.
You do.
My life is multifaceted, and I know a lot of people from all walks of life. I said, why not bring them on, listen to them, and talk about just shit, just shoot the shit.
Absolutely. Wow.
So
that's interesting that your dad was in radio and your mom was in TV.
Yeah. My dad was in radio for a while, and then I think it was 2010 when he stopped doing it, if I can remember correctly. But my mom was in television back in the 70s. She moved to New York City, and she got a job the first day she moved there. It was a soap opera called Ryan's Hope. And she used to go to Studio 54. She had all these pictures with Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, all these people at the time. But they got destroyed, the pictures did, over the years. Yeah, I know. I'm sad. Yeah, because I wanted to find those pictures because I wanted to take a picture and post it on Instagram and Facebook. But, all this stuff was long gone.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, hearing her stories and, like I said, my father, that's what kind of got me into this. Because I really enjoy it. I think it's great. And I've been on people's shows as well. I've been on a couple of podcasts as a guest, and it was very fun to me.
It is fun.
I was able to, be transparent as fuck. Because I just prefer that. I don't want to just put on an act. I just be myself.
Yeah.
And if people like it, it's cool. If they don't like it, it's cool too.
Yeah. I mean, I think if everybody was like that, it would just give everyone else permission to be like that. And
Absolutely.
It would change the world.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We got to do a part 2 for real.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sweet. But what's your availability like? Is it opens on weekends like this? Friday, Saturday, Sundays and stuff?
Most times, yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Cool. Well, we'll definitely set up something real soon for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, just to talk, shoot the shit. Why not?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Sounds fun.
All right, any shout outs?
Shout outs.
Mm-hmm. Your mom, your dad.
Yeah,
your
I want to
friends.
shout out my whole family.
Right.
My mom and my dad and my brother and my sister-in-law, my nieces,
Awesome.
and Zoe and her husband Emerald and their little baby. And make a shout out to my partner Charlie.
What up? Charlie? What's up? Awesome. All right. Stay tuned in for the next episode. All right. Peace.